If you haven't met me yet, my name is Bree, and we're moving through a 40-ish minute flow. Come to your back body. Get your props nearby if you have them. Always good to have. And lay down. Take a moment to just arrive. It's still early, at least here where I'm from. So take a moment to breathe a deeper breath. Feel the weight of your body rest into the support of the earth. One hand can be resting on the belly and the other on the chest, or your arms at a cactus shape. And continue to lengthen your breath on the inhalation. And elongate your breath on the exhalation. Feel your lungs expand into the earth beneath you. And as you continue to tune in to your body, notice the subtle shift of your diaphragm moving down on your inhalation and the soft pull up on your exhalation. Continue to expand in both directions with your breath. And then just notice how you're landing in your headspace today. Know that all is welcome. And just take a moment to observing how busy your mind feels, what your energy state is in the mind place. And from that observation, begin to form an intention for your why you're here on your mat today, or what you would like to bring forth out of your practice. What are you cultivating? It can be presence, gratitude, or something a little bit more physical like strength. On your next exhalation, release any breath that's held in your lungs, HA. Inhale through your nose. Open your mouth and cleanse it out, HA. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty for 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold the expansion of the lungs at the top for 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold empty. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 4, 3, 2, 1. Push the rest of the breath out. Hold empty. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. And you're going to bring your arms to a cactus or to a T shape. Bend your knees. Knock your knees in if they aren't already knocked in. And then create a windshield wiper effect on your or with your legs. So shifting your knees side to side and back and forth. Creating a little bit of mobility there in the low back and the hips. When your knees land towards the right, pause there. Hook your right ankle on top of your left knee so you have a little pull here. Stay rooted through the left shoulder blade, shoulder bone. Breathe and notice the little expansion happening in the left side of your body. Inhale and pull your left knee in towards your chest. Interlace your hands around your left thigh. Create a little untuck of your tailbone, so press your left thigh into your interlaced hands. Try to pull the low back up and away from the earth, the lumbar spine. And from this place, you may want to pulse through hamstring stretches, bending and straightening out through your left knee joint. And breathe. And take another inhale. And as you exhale, release your hands. Keep your figure four legs how they are. Interlace your thumbs, reach your arms way in line with your ears. Untuck if you're not already untucked, so the low back pulls up and away from the earth. Take an inhalation. And as you exhale, crunch, lift up. Work to stack your elbows on your shins or like your ankle and knee. Inhale, stretch long. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, reach long. Exhale, crunch. 3 more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, contract. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Release. Unwind. Ground both feet. Knock your knees in. The feet are wide. This time, your knees come over towards the left. Hook your left ankle on top of your right knee. So you have a little deep kind of twist here as you pull the right thigh away from the side body. Begin to pull the right knee in, ground your sacrum, interlace your hands around your right thigh, and again, a little push of your thigh into your hands. Keep widening your left thigh bone away from your left elbow. And maybe you pulse through straightening and bending your right knee through a hamstring stretch. This pose is also called Suchirandrasana. Eye of the needle, or you can just say figure 4 on your back. And let your breath be deep and full, working to find a consistent rhythm of your breath. Pull your shoulders down and back. Release your hands from your thigh. Interlace your thumbs. Reach your arms way in line with your ear. Find an expansion. Excuse me. Find an expansion. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Crunch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. Inhale, reach. Exhale, lift. 3 more. Reach. Crunch. Reach long. Crunch. Reach long and crunch. So the low back presses down. Holding. Release tension in your neck. And release. Unwind through your legs. Pause here. Pull your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a tight little squeeze. Bring your hands behind your thighs and rock. You can rock a few times here. Rocking and rolling. It might feel nice to really roll on that low back. And you'll actually rock your way all the way up to a forward fold. We're going to make it a functional forward fold. So make your feet as wide as your mat. Grab a block if you have one. Bring your block forward into space. Create a little bend of the knees and send your hips back into space as you counter reach your crown forward. Squeeze the base of your shins towards each other. And take a peek at your feet. Your feet, the outside edge of the feet, line up with the long edge of the mat. So it's a slightly pigeon-toed shape. Bring more weight into your heels until you can get really light in your toes. Stay rooted through the big toe mound and the pinky toe mound as well as the heel. Begin to inflate the lungs. Breathe more into the sides and into the back of your body. Inhale, halfway lift. Glide your hands up your shins, find length. Grab your hips, press down and out through the power of your legs as you may make your way to standing. Step your feet back to what feels like a comfortable hip distance, typically wider than the 2-fist limit, especially if you're a female. Extend your fingertips down towards the earth. Lengthen long through your spine. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana. Now pause here. We kind of move through this pose quite often, but really practice breathing into your back body. As you inhale, lengthen up through the sides of your waist. Reach up more through your thumb and your middle finger. Can you feel the expansion in your back body? Inhale. Exhale, grab your right wrist, side bend up and over towards the left. Press down and out through the power of your legs. Inhale, come back through center. Switch your clasp and take that side bend up and over the other way. Inhale, come through center. And as you exhale, a little twist. Arms could come to a cactus. Shift your trunk over towards the right. I would let your hips move with you, especially if you have SI joint discomfort. Inhale, come back through center. Exhale, take the twist the other way. And so it's just, you're not twisting as much if your hips are coming with you, but it's also not pulling on your ligaments, your joints. Inhale and come back through center. Reach your arms high. Now bring your hands forward like you're gonna do like a plank, but there's nothing to plank against. Press the earth away really strong. Feel what's happening in your shoulders. So this is called protraction of your shoulders because you are puffing up into the back of the body. Do the opposite. Pull your shoulders way back until you feel them kind of pinching each other. That is retraction of your shoulder blades. For today's class, protraction is going to help. Press the earth away. Pretend like you're doing that strong plank. Bring awareness now to the front of the body. Notice how when you protract, it pulls the whole front of the body back into space. Inhale, reach your arms high. Exhale, find a chair pose. Sink your hips low. Bring your hips back into space. Drive your heels down into the mat and push them apart from one another. Take an inhalation. Exhale, folds, forward folds. Uttanasana. Inhale and halfway lift. Think about protracting through your shoulders, but also lengthening through the back body. Exhale, fold, plant your hands and step back to your plank. Now you can practice this in the real. Puff up as much as you can in the back body, like you're trying to create a little dome. And then do the opposite, melt into those shoulders, pull your shoulder blades towards each other. And you'll notice nothing really happens with the hips. One more time, protract. The whole body lifts from this protraction. And retraction, and the whole body lowers because you're actually bringing yourself closer to the earth. Find something in between the protraction and the retraction. Shift your shoulders past your wrists. Lower your knees here for a moment. Wrap your elbows in by the rib cage. Find a half push-up, but don't go past it. We're going to hold it. Press the earth away and press it back up. In your half push-up, here we go again. Lower down, lift your shoulders up and away. Now your shoulders are retracting. Push it back up. Last time, half push-up. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Prone position. Bring your forearms to the mat. Find a Sphinx pose. Tug the elbows back a little. Stay strong through your legs. Pull your right heel towards your sit bone. Reach around with your right hand to grab your right foot. Little thigh stretch. Breathe. Press the left toes down into the ground. Give a little kick with your right foot into your hand as you pull the heel towards the bum. Release. Second side, pull the opposite heel in, reach your hand around to grab for the foot. And spin your inner body more towards the front of the room. Breathe. Release. Soften your chest down to the earth. Stretch your arms back by your hips. Get lift through the heads of your arm bones, through your head, through your arms, and ignite, strengthen the legs. Lift, lift, lift up through the chest, and then lift the legs last. Shalabhasana, locust pose, also known as Superman in the fitness world. Inhale, reach forward with your arms. And as you exhale, pull your arms back into space like you're swimming. 3 more. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, take it back. Stay long through the sides of your back of the neck. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, take it back. Just 1 more here. Inhale, reach. Maybe you lift your arms a little higher here. And exhale, take it back. Release. Bring your hands by your chest. Press your way up through a tabletop. Bring your toes together, your knees wide. Shift it back to a child's pose just for a moment. Press your hands into the mat. Thread the needle, weave your left arm through the right, find a little shoulder stretch. Press the right palm into the mat or right fingertips into the mat as you tug your left arm back into space. Come back through center, second side, weave the opposite arm through, threading of the needle. Come all the way back through center. Inhale and rise up through a tabletop. Tuck your toes and send your hips all the way up and back, down dog. When you arrive in down dog, make your feet hip distance at least. Flare through your 4th and 5th toe. Bend your knees so there's some buoyancy there. With that bend of the knees, squeeze your shins in. Squeeze your forearms in towards each other, creating stabilization for this posture. Send your upper inner thighs higher to the sky. And as your upper inner thighs lift, also allow your shoulders to lift away from the earth. Wrap your triceps down, and then from the back of the heart, stretch out long through the arms, through the hands, into the earth. So you're really trying to press the earth away, but you are not collapsing in down dog. At least, like for my down dogs, I can do really pretty dogs, or I'm just melting my heart towards the earth, but that's not good for the shoulders. So finding structure, right? Getting the shoulders lifted and wrapping your triceps down is going to create longevity, and that's why we want to practice yoga, or at least most of us, so that we can feel good in our bodies until the very last day of our lives. Inhale, nice and slow. Reach your right leg high to the sky, almost like you're moving through honey. Feel strength in your leg as you lift. Exhale, pull your knee towards your nose around. And as you do this, let your shoulders come forward. Protract your shoulders, maybe your shoulders even pass your wrists. Inhale, reach that leg all the way up and high. Keep your legs square. Exhale, pull the knee towards the nose and round. 1 more. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, knee towards nose, round. Plant your foot in between your hands. Come onto fingertips or blocks. Heel toe your right foot over towards the left side of your mat. So your legs are like crisscrossed here. Straighten out through your front knee. Take an inhalation, so it's a modified pyramid pose. Exhale, start to come forward. Come to the knife edge of your front foot for a pigeon pose. Chest is low. Inhale, straighten out through both legs. Exhale, keep your chest low over your shin as you come down. Inhale, straighten the leg. Push that right big toe down, back to modified pyramid. And as you exhale, come to the knife edge. Come all the way down this time to pigeon. Lower your back knee. Squeeze your legs towards each other. We're not here long, especially those of you that dislike pigeon. We won't be here long. Squeeze your knees towards each other. Inhale, lengthen up through the sides of your waist. Exhale, pour your heart down. Fold. 2 more. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, soften. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, come down. Inhale, reach up. Plant your hands on the mat. Press the earth away. Protract those shoulders. Reach your right leg high to the sky. Bend your right knee and open up through your right hip. Create a nice big circle with your knee in one direction. And take that big circle with your knee in the other direction. Keep the lift of your left shoulder. Inhale, straighten your leg, square your hips, so wrap your hip way down, and slow and controlled, ground your right foot next to your left. Down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Second side. Inhale, reach your left leg high. You can even peek down and see that your toes are pointing straight down. You lift up from the strength of the inner thigh. Exhale, pulse, spike really high onto the ball of your foot. Come forward into your knee to nose shape. Inhale, reach your leg all the way up and long. Exhale, pull the knee towards the nose and round. Inhale, reach it up and long. Exhale, contract, knee towards nose, puff up into the back body, and plant your foot in between your hands. Find your fingertips. Heel toe your left toes over towards the right, so there's that nice cross of the legs. Straighten out through your left knee. Modified pyramid pose, or a variation of pyramid pose. Inhale, as you bend into your front knee, let your left knee go wide towards the left thumb, pigeon pulse. Exhale, straighten and fold. Inhale, pigeon pulse. Exhale, straighten and fold. Inhale, come forward to that pigeon pulse and ground your shin. Ground your back knee, squeeze the base of your legs towards one another. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, pour your heart down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands if you are on fingertips. Press the earth away. Reach your left leg up. Bend your left knee, open your hip. And take the few circles with your knee in one direction. And take the circles with your knee in the other direction. Inhale, straighten your leg. Square your hip, wrap your hip all the way down and plant your foot next to the right, down dog. Inhale, come forward to a plank pose. Exhale, half push up. Inhale, ground your pelvis, rise up through a cobra or any other back bend of your choice. Tug the hands back into space if you're in cobra or up dog. Exhale, tuck your toes and send your hips all the way up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale and reach your right leg high to the sky. Exhale, pull your right knee towards your nose and then cross your right ankle over your left knee. Begin to walk your hands all the way back until your left heel grounds. Get your hips as low as you can here. When you feel stable, nice and slowly or quickly, whatever way you need to get there, stand up to a balancing figure 4 shape. Bring your hands to a prayer. Breathe. You could play with bringing your forearms all the way to the shin or bringing your hands all the way down onto the earth. Stretch down and out through your left leg. Pull the right knee in, one-legged Tadasana. Lengthen up long through the sides of the waist. Reach up through your thumb and your middle finger. Bend into your left knee, nice and deep, and step forward, crescent lunge. Squeeze your legs towards each other. Bring your hands forward like you're going to push down an imaginary big giant exercise ball or resistance ball. Push that ball down into space. Feel the front of the body find more engagement. Keep the front of the body engaged and reach your left arm or your arms high to the sky. Let your pelvis get as heavy as you would like. Keep pressing your back thigh back into space and internally rotate through your back inner thigh. Grab your left wrist, inhale, lengthen up through the sides of your waist. Exhale, side bend up and over towards the right. Press down and out through your right leg. Inhale, come back through center. And as you exhale, bring your hands to a prayer. Bring the prayer or the thumb to your sternum and pull your sternum back into space. So any back bend that you're holding here, you're removing it by pulling the rib basket back so it's truly stacked over your hips. Begin to hinge at your hips, come forward, 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 until all the weight becomes on that right leg. And you may need to glide your left toes in a little and bend deeper into your right knee. When you feel ready, pull your left heel towards your sit bone. So it's kind of like a warrior 3 variation here. Find your balance. And breathe. And tap the four corners around you. To the left, with your left foot, you're tapping the four corners around you. To the right, to the front, to the back. And plant your foot next to your left. Inhale, reach your arms up, chair pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back. Either move through a vinyasa or you can do like what I'm doing and just skipping it and finding a nice, strong down dog shape. Wherever you're at, stay connected to your breath. Remind yourself why you're here, why you're showing up on your mat today. What kind of qualities you want to bring off of your mat and into the rest of your day. What are you cultivating in this practice? Inhale and reach your left leg high to the sky. Exhale, pull the left knee towards the nose and around. And then cross your left ankle over your right knee. You have to bend your right knee to do that. And I kind of like to hop my foot in a little so I don't come off of my mat. Begin to walk your hands back and let your hips sink low. This is the tricky part. Getting up without losing your balance. You could just keep your hands down, mind you, but if your butt is really high, you're not going to get as much of a stretch. So you want your butt to also descend down, and maybe you come up to resting on your forearms. Breathe. Stretch down and out through your standing leg. Pull your left knee in one-legged Tadasana. Reach up long through the thumb and the middle fingers. Breathe into your back body. Bend into your standing knee. Take a nice generous step forward. Crescent lunge. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Your feet should be hip distance. Keep pressing the left foot down and pulling it back into space as you wrap your right inner thigh forward towards the left. Bring your hands forward. Press your imaginary exercise ball down into space. Invite the front of the ribs into the back of the body. Keep that. Reach your arms up. And bring your hands to a prayer. And bring the prayer all the way down. Thumb is touching sternum. And you can just kind of kindly guide your sternum and the low ribs back into space. This is cues for especially those of you that flare your ribs. I'm one of those people. Yogis are typically really good at yoga on the outside, but we love to flare our ribs to get into postures. So we're kind of removing that in today's sequence. Begin to hinge at your hips. Hinge, hinge, hinge. Until all your weight is on that left foot. Spike really high on those right toes until you can pull your right heel towards your sit bone. Warrior 3 variation. It's like a crouched warrior. Keeping your hip hinging. So your left glute is reaching up to the sky. And the knee is bent. Yes, you can let your knee bend past your ankle. It may help your glute activate here. Begin to tap the four corners around you with your right foot. You should feel nice and stable with this hinge variation. And plant your right foot next to your left. Inhale, reach your arms up, Utkatasana. Exhale, bring your arms behind you. Interlace your hands, lift up through the hands. Inhale. Exhale, bound, forward fold. Let your arms drop over the back body. Keep a little bend in your knees. Bending your knees will help your thigh bones go farther back into space. Release your hands. Plant your hands, step back, and either move through your vinyasa or skip it. We all meet in down dog. From down dog, pause, ground your knees, come to a tabletop. One at a time, flip your palms or change the grip of your fingers so your fingers are facing towards your knees. Pull back through your finger pads and just kind of work rock forward and back. Maybe you round and find a cat spine. Practice lifting up through the sides of the waist and pulling navel to spine. Inhale, cow, melt, send your sit bones high to the sky. Exhale, round cat. Come to a more neutral position. Place your palms forward. Tuck your toes. Send your hips back so that you're resting on your heels and your toes are tucked. This is intense. It's called fire toes for a reason. All right, stretch your arms out and do like really fast stress ball squeezes. I see a lot of my students in public classes moving really slow with their fingers. Go faster, basically as fast as you can, and your fingers should be touching your palms each time. Right now the palms are face down. Now face both of your palms out. Now face your palms in towards each other. Keep going, nice and fast, stress ball squeezes. And then palms facing up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant your hands. Pat out those feet. Tuck your toes. Send your hips up and back. Down dog. From down dog, inhale, come high onto your tiptoes. Exhale, take a deep bend in the knees and hop your way all the way up to the front of the mat. Now, we're going to be working on a couple different arm balances today. If you have a block, it is helpful. So first thing, I'll teach the most accessible one first, or easiest one. And it still means it, just because I say accessible doesn't mean it's not hard. So I have a block, and you can step on your block for Bakasana crow pose to give you a little bit more height. It gets your hips higher, which is easier to balance on your hands. Your hands are going to be placed about a foot in front of that block or in front of your feet. Think about your chaturanga. So your elbows bend in chaturanga, and that's the energy that you have to do to support yourself, is a little bend of the elbows. Begin to kind of find a nice cat spine and pull your knees or stack your knees on top of your triceps. Right now my feet aren't even off of the block, but I'm basically doing crow pose. So you could do that, and then you can pull one heel towards your bum at a time, or eventually both toes lift. Again, still a hard pose, even though it's more accessible. Feel free to play. With crow pose, your gaze is never at your hands, it's forward. Or really with any arm balance, your gaze is never at your hands, it's in front of you. That makes it helpful. Another thing that helps with Bakasana is really gripping the ground, pulling back through each and every finger pad and rooting down through the perimeter of the palms. Pull your heels towards your sit bone to lift up. All right, so there's that one, and if you have no interest in it, don't worry about it. We're gonna play with one more though before we cool down. Come to stand up, and you have options with this one. So come up, find your feet hip distance apart. Pull your left knee in towards your chest and cross your left ankle over your right knee. So you've been here before. You could just stay here, do whatever arm variation you want. Maybe a twist would be nice. Hooking the left elbow underneath the left foot. Or the arm balance is a flying pigeon. So your hips have to go really low here so that your hands can stack on the earth. And I haven't done this one for a while, so I might not be able to get into it, but we'll see. So your hands come to the earth, your gaze is forward. And to get your knee and your shin to stack on your triceps, you have to bend your right knee to get low. You could also place your hands on blocks if it feels challenging. Eventually all the weight comes in and you pull your right heel towards your sit bone, pausing there, or straightening your right leg out long. And that was not the greatest example, but you get the idea. I have been off of my arm balance game for about 8 months now. But this is fun stuff to try. So if it's landing for you, great. And if it's not, don't worry about it. Arm balances aren't that important to learn. It's if you want to. The other thing, if you're trying to use blocks, I'll do that for my second side. For those of you that are tighter, you place your blocks about shoulders distance apart. This time you're going to find your figure 4 with the right leg crossing over the left.
Bring your hips nice and low and come forward with your hands. Plant your hands on those blocks. As you bend your elbows, think of your chaturanga, but also puff up into the back body. Keep your right toes flexed towards your ankle to help with the shelf. Maybe you just come forward and pull your heel towards your sit bone, and that's all that you're working on today. Maybe, yeah, so the blocks actually make it harder for me because I'm not used to doing them. But for those of you that can't reach the ground, it would be great. You come way forward, gaze is forward. Maybe you just stay there. Maybe you extend out long through your left leg and fly like a pigeon. It's hard, it's challenging. But it's something to work towards. If it seems fun to you, then keep practicing. We're gonna come to lie down on the back now and cool down. So come to your back body. And when you arrive on your back, just pause. Ground your feet, ground in your breath. And just notice what's going on in your headspace, in your mind. I think it's interesting to observe how we treat ourselves as we move through asana practices, postures of yoga. Sometimes we can get really defeated because we can't do something or we're not as strong as we used to be. And other times we get this big ego boost because it's like, yeah, I did it. And I think that both is completely normal aspects of the mind, but can we just step back and observe how we're engaging in that headspace based off the practice? Begin to breathe more breath in between your thoughts. Pull both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little bit of a squeeze. And find a happy baby shape. Pull your knees way wide towards your armpits. You can hold there. You can also grab for the outside edges of your feet, ankles, or thighs. Happy baby, Ananda Balasana. You can hold this here. Practice pulling your low back up and in so you're honoring each and every natural curve of your spine. Pull your feet down. That will help pull your shoulder blades down the back body. And rock a little side to side and back and forth. That may feel nice, maybe straightening out through one or both legs. And land back to your neutral happy baby shape. Find a supine Baddha Konasana. So bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees go wide. Option to just stay here and hold on to your feet. Option to fold. Lift your shoulder blades off the mat, bowing your head and your toes towards each other, coming into like a tiny little wide angled Baddha Konasana shape. Release your shoulder blades back down. Begin to close your legs like a book. Find some nice circles with your knees in one direction. And pause. Find these circles with your knees in the opposite direction. Begin to lift your shoulder blades off the mat. Give yourself a nice big squeeze. Inhale. Exhale. Stretch your legs and your arms out long for a Shavasana shape. Bear breath in. Open mouth, breath out. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1, 2, 3. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 1,
2, 3. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You're welcome to keep going with that cycle of breath. Inhaling for 3, holding for 5, and out for 7. Or you can allow your breath to simply just return to its natural state of being. Release any tension in your face, in the facial muscles. Drop your tongue down from the roof of the mouth. Relax your glutes. And just allow yourself to be. Shavasana. And begin to receive a fuller breath. Notice the expansion of your lungs, the subtle movement of your diaphragm. Begin to wake yourself up, wiggle through your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles. Maybe you do a full body stretch, head to toe. And pull your knees in towards your chest. Make your way all the way up to a seat. Once you land in a seat, refresh your posture. Pull the flesh of the butt back so you can sit more in front of your sit bones. Pull the base of your ribs back. Reach the crown of the head towards the sky and also pull the tops of the ears back into space. Bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, a symbol of offering of reverence. This practice is a big offering and really an honoring of the wholeness inside of each one of us, and really a way for us to connect to our own intrinsic wholeness. Take a breath in and a breath out. Bring your thumb up to your third eye. We bow to the dark and to the light and to all of it in between. Namaste.